Hey, how you doing there? Henry Olsen here from Super Simple Guitar, and welcome to another episode of Hang with Henry. So today we're going to be taking a look at Jeff Beck and Johnny Depp's new tune. This is a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr. I actually just discovered the song today, and I absolutely fell in love with it. Johnny Depp actually wrote this song, and man, he is one hell of a songwriter. And I actually looked into the song a little bit, and Jeff Beck actually said that when he first heard the tune, it's when he decided he wants to take Johnny Depp on tour with him because he was so blown away by the tune. This is a song that I can't stop listening to. It's like one of my favorite new songs. So anyways, let's watch it together. I'm going to be showing you the chord progression. I'm going to explain what's happening with the harmony, and I'm also going to try to break down a little bit of the solo. I'm not going to pretend like I'm Jeff Beck or anything, but we're going to be taking a look at some of the main themes that are happening, the main melodies, and what's making this song so great. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so that little instrumental intro there is so cool because they're playing with the tonality. We don't really know what key we're in yet. It starts off on this F major, going into E minor, and then all of a sudden it goes to D major, which is very surprising. All of a sudden, what key are we in? It was kind of like maybe we're in C, but no, we're all of a sudden playing a D major and then A major. Okay, so it's F, E minor, D major, A major. So they're flirting with the tonality there. Then the second time around, it goes from F into it, G major. Listen how cool that sounds after what we just heard. And then it goes down to a D for 2 bars. So that's the intro. And then it's going to continue on that D. So now it's kind of like, okay, we were playing around with this thing here, but now we're in D. Let's just relax, everybody. So really, really interesting songwriting. Great songwriting. I love how this sounds. Johnny Depp, man, I knew he was cool, but such a great songwriter. It's really, I really, really am in love with this song. So let's listen to that one more time with that context. Starting on the F. Band's kicking in. D major. You can put the F sharp up on the bass if you want to. G. D.
This is a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr, erased by the same world that made her a star, spun out of beauty, trapped by its web. She's a perfect cocoon.
So all of a sudden now we're in like a typical pop song kind of chord progression. It starts off with this really interesting thing, and then now we're just going from a D into an A, into a B minor, and into a G. So that's your typical 1, 5, 6, 4 chord progression that you'll hear in a million pop songs. Very interesting. Let's keep listening.
Entwined in gold thread, her beauty is spectacle, her thoughts too pure. The light of her being, her exotic allure, is torn at the seams for daring to dream. It's so hard to speak when you're frozen in. Scream. Yes, it's not what it seems. Feels like a dream, but it's life and it's death. She began and she ended like baby's breath.
We're building.
I don't believe humans anymore.
Same chord progression.
I don't believe, I can't believe, I won't believe humans anymore.
Listen to the melody. So listen how it's building now. It started out slow. Then we have this great kind of chorus in there. I just love the lyrics. You have to listen to the lyrics of this tune. It's just such a beautiful song. And now it's building. Listen how that drum is playing these kind of like almost military-like little beats in there. And he's kind of playing a little bit off the beat almost. It's causing this interesting just build, right? So let's go back a little bit. Listen to that one more time, and then I'm gonna show you that little melody that happened.
But it's life and it's death.
Listen to the drum. The beats here. Listen to the drum.
I don't believe in humans anymore. I don't believe, I can't believe, I won't believe in humans anymore.
Come on. Is that a great song or what? So the melody here is now, let me see. Really simple, memorable melody that kicks in just such a beautiful way. Let's listen to that one more time. So just to show you that melody, I'm starting off on the 9th fret, 10, 15, 14. I'm actually going to have that tabbed out for you. I'm also going to have a reference to the chord progression. So if you want to go download that and get the tab and learn some of the licks and the chord progression of the song, that's going to be linked under this video, okay? So let's go back just a little bit, just so you can hear that melody kick in there. Back to the chord progression.
Quiver and fear, shameful, shameless, painful, painless. This song's for you, Miss Hedy Lamarr. How bright your light, those lost white nights so long ago, so far away. Feels like a dream or a cosmic fiasco. I don't believe.
Building.
I don't believe. I don't believe in humans anymore. I don't believe. I can't believe. I won't believe in humans anymore. Not anymore.
You hear that? You hear that? What happened there? I'm going to tell you what happened there. So it starts off, the solo starts off almost like that melody. Then it does this little one. Something like that. So you could kind of think of it as if you're playing out of D major. Just think D major or B minor pentatonic. Okay, so. Okay, that's where it starts, right? Because we are actually in the key of D major right now. They were playing around with the tonality at the beginning, but now we're in D major land. Okay, so let's get back into that one more time to hear that first solo.
Don't believe. I don't believe in humans anymore. I don't believe.
Okay, we're building still.
Can't believe. I won't believe in humans anymore. Not anymore.
See that? something like that, right? I'm not playing it note for note, but it's kind of like that. The little thing that I kind of find memorable is this little kind of trill thing, right? Let's go back one more time. So what the chord progression did now, again, they took us back to that F. So the whole time we were living in D major land, now all of a sudden, they're taking us into an F, right? It's like, what happened now, right? So again, really, really cool songwriting. So the solo starts out, you could think of it as D major, right? D major pentatonic or D major or B minor, however you want to think about it. And then he goes into a D minor pentatonic. So if you want a solo to this, you could just think this position, pentatonic, just keeping it simple. And then when it changes keys, then this position, right? So let's listen one more time. So and then he does this little run. Right, so now all of a sudden, to address that new chord progression or new chords, we have to change the scale. The scale that we were using until now, if you wanted to play lead, is not going to work anymore. So there's two ways you could think about this. You could either focus on the triads and just think, okay, what chords are being played in this new chord progression, or you could just think of it in a scale kind of way. I kind of tend to think that Jeff Beck is playing to the chords. That's kind of how it sounds to me, but he might be using a scale as well. So anytime you have these mixing chord keys or musical keys, it is a good idea to play triads and just focus on those chord notes. It's the safer way to go, right? You're going to have to learn where they are, but once you know where they are, it's kind of a safer way to just address that new chord progression, okay? So one last time, and then I'm going to shut up. All right, so let me just quickly address what the chord progression is, since I was only talking about the lead part for now. So it goes along. It starts off on the D. So D into A. So what we already had. Now we go to F. G, D, A, F, G, D. Okay, so when that solo kicks in, it starts off on the D. You can play everything the way that you were playing it. A, B minor, G, and then it goes F. Now you're going to have to change your scale. G, you can still play that. And then it goes back to D. So when it goes back to D, you could switch back, right? So again, either target the chord notes, or you're going to have to switch mentally between D minor pentatonic and B minor pentatonic, okay? Or D major pentatonic and D minor pentatonic, no matter how, depending on how you want to look at it. So basically what's happening is we're going from D major to D minor, right? That's what's actually happening there. So, and when he's soloing, I think he's targeting, again, those chord notes, but you could just think in boxes as well, okay? Let's keep going.
Stripped of belief, A thief is a thief.
Back to the standard thing.
Who's gonna stand up to give you relief of all dispossessed? It's so hard to digest. You've no right to sit down if you're nobody's guest.
Back to F. E minor. D. A. F. G. No? Okay. So that is quite a bit. Again, it's because they keep switching between keys. You have to really be careful what you're doing when you're playing lead to this kind of a chord progression. You have to really know exactly when what is going to happen so you can target the right notes. You have to know the chord progression very, very well. Okay, so what happened there is they played that same chord progression that we had at the beginning, where it went from F into E minor, D into A, and then the second time around, F, E minor, D. But then I think they went to A. They changed it slightly. The first time around, it was like in the beginning. The second time around, they changed it slightly. Again, really, really cool solo there from Jeff Beck. He really hit a different pedal there, I think, ramping up the tone. And let's listen to that solo one more time because there's a couple of things. Let me just show you my favorite part. I think it's a really, really cool solo. And again, I'm going to have some of these licks tabbed out for you. That's going to be for free. You can download that. And also the chord progression is going to be charted out for you, or I'm going to link to the best charted out chord progression that I can find. Okay, so if you want to learn some of the licks of what's happening in here and also get the chord progression, make sure to go, the link for that is under this video, okay? All right, one more time, solo. This is the tone. Here we go. I think he ends it up really high here. So again, lots of fun stuff. Again, when you're trying to solo to this, if you try to solo to this, just know what's happening. They're going from key to key. Sorry, the song is starting over. And just be careful with that. What I tend to do, and what I think he's doing, is he's targeting those triads. So when it goes to F, he'll do little things like that. G, same moves. And then when he goes to D, he'll play it like this, and you'll hear him kind of slide into it. But anyways, try to either attack those chord notes, those triads, or you can switch between the scales, okay? So I hope that you enjoyed listening to this song as much as I did. I hope that I was able to give you some insight. Again, make sure to go download that PDF. It'll be easier for you to follow along. And definitely listen to the song because it's just one of my favorite new songs, and I think it's really, really great. All right, so that's about that. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. See you soon.